situation. EJK, oh, EJK's got to be careful about the Banshee, but EJK, he's pretty much got all the cards in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really optimistic natural, just throwing it down on the low ground, but it looks like they're at a state where neither one of them can kill the other ones. They're both going to get thirds of reasonable amounts of time.
Oh, like, they get the tank!
Pretty crazy.
Oh, so close.
Just barely not getting the tank there. 14 HP, and Epic's just going to be moving in here. He knows he's behind economically, so the one thing you can do when you're in that kind of a situation is push forward and make an attack before your opponent's economy has the chance to basically deal the damage to you, or basically to overcome your economy, as economy is a long-term advantage.
Right now, EJK is a very nice position. Yeah, the third is scouted, but EJK has all the air control. He's got 4 Vikings to the actually only 1 Viking of Epic here. Even though Epic has tanks in a beautiful position, I think EJK is just going to wait a few seconds and get himself a kill here. Vikings, it's debatable if they land. They will focus down the Viking. Instantly, two siege tanks do go down. I think EJK just piles through this.
Yeah, he killed a tank with a Hellion. That was pretty hilarious. That tank was so weak. No repair on it. I think maybe could have been a little bit stronger with his attack had he done that, but he's going to clean it up in short order, and he is in a commanding lead in pretty much every aspect you could imagine right now.
Epic going into that fight not only in a deficit with the air control, but also just tank-wise. EJK has such a massive lead here. And we do see EJK, of course, as you mentioned, JaKaTaK, he'll be going into the mech. He loves his mech, and with not losing his early siege tanks like we saw Epic, EJK is just in a phenomenal position here, while Epic is kind of deciding to go bio here, mixing in some Marauders, getting his stim, getting his +1 in. I don't know if it's going to be cost efficient versus this mech, especially when the third base of EJK is already up and done.
Well, I really like the decision of Epic to be going for bio just against EJK in general, especially when you're behind. If you're going to go the exact same style as your opponent, it's going to be really difficult to try and catch up. But hopefully you can abuse the mobility of bio here, get some drops going on, get some harass going on, and just sort of deal with the fact that EJK is in the lead. The problem, though, is that EJK is at a super defensive posture right now. He should be able to just sort of wax on, wax off anything that comes in.
Exactly, and I like that Epic is falling back from here, just taking the Xel'Naga. I'm really worried about him being aggressive again because he's throwing away his important tech units. I mean, if you can keep your Raven alive from the early game, that's always useful to have in the siege tanks, and he's just not in the best position here, as you've said. Now we do see a drop coming out for EJK, 4 Hellions left-hand side, and if the first drop taught us anything, it means that Epic's got to be careful. He's still at about a 10-worker deficit, or actually, just cleans it up right there, but he was at a 10-worker deficit for a very long time, and Epic's going to try to end this. It looks like his force moving across the map, but honestly, there's just very little bio here. If they could get a great stim, that'd be good, but Epic doesn't even have air control. One Banshee back of JK's base.
Nice move over here with the Banshee. And I think that that's kind of the thing that he needs to continue to do here. Wait till EJK is sort of distracted the map. I like that little move. That force was obviously not big enough.
But all the Hellions in the main!
Oh my
Just getting
God.
8 more kills and not even going down. They could actually get the siege tank if they want to. All the Hellions lining up. One siege tank will block that ramp beautifully.
They're all close.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, that's so scary. Oh my God.
Do we have an armory for Epic right here? Let me look. No, I don't think he's an armory yet, so can't really. Sorry, not Epic. EJK. EJK does have an armory. Yeah.
Yeah.
But can't get 4. Can't get 4 into a medevac, sadly. That would be killer. That'd be killer if he could.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing just fine with the Hellions. He's actually, I don't know, liking it a lot. He's got the blue flame up too, so I think that Epic's defense of the drops has just been really poor. Just a lot of I'm gonna run everything away so it all lines up. There we go. Finally, we've got some splitting of the workers and dealing with this. Really, that kind of a micro technique would have been very helpful earlier on.
It would have been very helpful, and it's going to be more important, especially with bio versus siege tank, unless the bio can get the siege tank out of position. And man, this Hellion's still alive. It's having a great time. It's burning things. So what more could a Hellion want to do? But now the third base of EJK, possibly at jeopardy. Hellbats are going to be dropped right on top of the bio.
Absolutely good play there, but it looks like the Marauders are doing all right. They're moving in. A lot of these siege tanks unsieged, but unfortunately just not enough stuff there. Really good scout, and EJK knew this was coming because he took the watchtower just at the right moment, just as he saw Epic's units moving over to the side.
Some very nice strategic plays here from Epic, but he's down 35 workers, or at least he's lost 35 workers overall, and his bio cannot go 1-for-1 with EJK, especially with the Hellbat drops and more Hellions on the way. Third base of EJK and fourth base up. This is just allowing him to pump out so many Hellions, and the bio is melting. Epic desperately needs some better upgrades if he wants to actually fight versus this mech.
Patience of EJK just really paying off here, not moving out too soon, making sure he defends all these attacks. Any moment in time, if these attacks, he had been across the map making his own attack, he would have had a lot of trouble. But currently he does not. All right, we got a lot of these Hellbats. They're loaded in, but they're going to be pulling back. A lot of these siege tanks, though, Unsiege takes out quite a few siege tanks. We have some reinforcements coming from behind, but he's going to pull back very smartly there. Unfortunately, it's just sort of, you have this Terran, you have EJK, who's in this defense mode, not really moving out, not making any attacks yet, and you keep attacking him, and he's totally ready for it. And now you're 40 supply behind, 34 of that is army supply, and it's against an incredibly cost-efficient composition. So he's really got to make some moves. I love the double expand here. He's expanding basically in both directions, or he has one expansion up, I think, already. So that way, that's kind of a Zergy move of old they used to do on Jungle Basin a lot. Is you just expand in two directions, you assume they can only really attack one, so you'll get whichever one they don't attack. Epic's got to make some serious moves if he wants to be able to come out on top in this game. Nice splitting against that siege tank there, and the watchtower should be able to take out everything. Nicely done.
Epic will take a small engagement right here, which is a win. The battle is a win, but will he be able to take the war? A very nice siege tank placement by Epic will get some shots down early. And actually, the bio of Epic, if it stems forward, there is no bio or anything complementing EJK right here, or the Hellbats. Yet there's just way too many siege tanks and just plows straight through. Everything's gone right here. Epic falling back into two last siege tanks. But EJK, as you said, so cost efficient. Doesn't even matter if he's going to pull everything, and now pulling everything, but it's clumped up into 10 siege tanks.
Yeah, splash damage against workers has been the story of this game here, and the workers are very sad about it. EJK with the victory. Well played. Very, very patient play from EJK, attacking at the right moments and getting some critical damage done very early on, and able to spiral that out of control for a win.
Definitely a nice spiral out of control for EJK, and I'm very worried going into game 2 about the same thing happening, because it's just, well, if it works game 1, why not try some more Hellion drop, something of the sort, and it got, what, like 35 kills, Jack? That is so intense on the workers. Even some Koreans there would just be GG, leave the game, not even try, but we did see Epic. He tried to make it happen and looked like he may almost be able to, but I want to just point out one cool thing with that is, at first it was, okay, cool, maybe he can stem up close, maybe he can get amazing position on the siege tanks, but with the Hellbats and the Medivacs, just annihilating that, and not only that, but if you looked at the composition, actually, of Epic, which is something we didn't really comment on a ton, it was almost 75% Marauders, as in the Hellbats and the Medivacs could just get right on top of the forces without any anti-air presence from Epic, so early on, just workers, man. You need workers. I feel like that's what you can chalk it up to. You need to split, or you need workers. A or B.
Well, I think it's sort of that's kind of the issue, right? So every time he ran away, it's just I feel like it's just a control mistake where he just says, okay, I'm running everything away. I'm just going to click on a mineral patch. They all clump up. He lines up and he gets it in there. If you have the right building placement, or if you pull soon enough so that you know that the opponent's Hellions won't get to you in time, then sure, you can do that. But if your reaction time is that speed, you have to sort of accept, okay, my reaction time is at this speed. I can either, clump them all up. I mean, he would have almost been better not doing anything to micro his SCVs with the amount of extra damage that was done because they got all clumped up.
Definitely, maybe just leaving them there and say, you know what, Hellions, do whatever you want. I'll A-move, get my Marines in there, and try to kill whatever I can. Guys, though, game 1 going to EJK quite decisively. Game 2 is going to be Coda for the second game in this TVT best of 5. Just to remind anyone tuning in that we did have a round of 4.